There are shows in this world that we will never fully understand, except Ghost Adventures. We have watched every episode to build our obsession, our fandom.
Watching alongside each other because no one we know really gives a damn. Watching Zach and crew catch groundbreaking proof of the paranormal, inspiring us to explore our own interest in otherworldly phenomena. This is our podcast. We are Paranormal Putas.
It's Chuck Bass. I'm Chuck Bass. I'm Chuck Bass. I'm Chuck Bass. Uncle Chuck. Uncle Chuck. It's me, Chuck Bass. I want my empire back. And I'll trade you Blair because I'm Chuck Bass. What up, everybody? It's me, Leah. And it's me, Bethany.
Sorry if you thought Chuck Bass was hanging out with us.
We know you thought we got him in here. But it's just us. We're just that talented.
We're also just losing our minds because this is us wrapping up our little slumber party of recording.
Yeah.
And it's been a hoot. And we also watched a lot of Gossip Girl. So if you don't know who Chuck Bass is, then you don't know Gossip Girl. So you're lost.
Then screw you. But guys, it's great. It's a Sunday morning. We ate biscuits and jelly. It was fantastic. And we watched some Ghost Adventures. We watched season 6, episode 8, titled Rose Hall, that premiered in 2011.
Oh yeah, baby. So to Bethany's point, we're at Rose Hall, which is located in Montego Bay, Jamaica. And the episode starts out with Johnny Cash talking about the White Witch of Rose Hall, who is really the primary focus of this episode. Her name is Annie Palmer. And John Cash also apparently lived on the island. So that's why we
said
start.
that like your friend is John Cash. Me and my buddy John over here. John Cash.
Johnny boy.
Johnny boy. Anyway, sorry.
Well, he lived there too, so that's why we start with the Johnny Cash song. So we talk a lot about Johnny Cash and Rose Hall.
He didn't live in Rose Hall.
No. He lived in the island. He lived in the same island. Right?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought the way you said it made me think that he lived in Rose Hall.
Oh, my bad. No, he did not. He lived in his own house on the same island of where Rose Hall is.
Anyways, so Annie would apparently sleep with her enslaved peoples, and then she would watch them get moidled outside her window, and she would order them to be moidled because she wanted to avoid suspicions, right?
Yeah.
But then she would like watch it happen and get like all excited and shit.
Yeah, man, really fucked up.
It really reminded me of Madame Mary Leville.
Yes, it's 100% that story, just set in Jamaica.
Yeah.
No, exactly that story. Just a woman with some money. She also killed apparently 3 of her husbands in different ways. We learned that husband number 1 was poisoned
And stabbed.
And stabbed. Husband number 2 was stabbed and had hot oil poured into his ears. And then husband number 3 was actually murdered by her enslaved lover, Takuma at the time, who also apparently taught little Annie Palmer how to do some voodoo. So she used voodoo to keep her slaves pretty much enslaved. And I think it was actually voodoo that kind of brought her to her demise as well, if I understood the...
Well, the thing is they said that her lover Taku had gotten tired of her bullshit, so he killed her.
Yeah. So that's
So
rad.
and it's like, it's about time, my dude. I'm tired. But they kind of roam the area, and of course, as always, Zach talks to the staff and shit, and he was like, do you think it's haunted? And they think it is. They say that they hear footsteps, they see shadows, they hear things that can't be explained. So yes, I mean, the staff say, yeah, but we don't get any like actual specific instances.
Yeah, nothing specifically about the witch or anything like that, but yeah, said to be haunted. And what else?
That was really it at that point, because then we hit a montage where we are playing on a trampoline, and like what is it, Nick and Aaron are out there jumping in water and like jumping off a big trampoline. It looks like a lot of fun. And Zach's like, I don't do that shit, I like the gloomy weather. And then he was like, but I'm gonna play soccer. And then it turns into a soccer tournament.
Like a full-blown soccer game. Like, we see the Jamaican team score like seven fucking points, and the guys score one. And it's like a good like 3-4 minutes just sitting there watching this shit, and we're just like, oh god, here we go.
I wrote a note and I was like, wow, we really watching this soccer match. Like, wow, we're really doing this. Okay. And then me and Leah got mad because Aaron was playing in chanclas and fell.
God.
And we were like, it's because dumb, you're wearing chanclas.
Just take off the fucking shoes and play the game, or put on proper shoes, Aaron. That really bothered me.
Yeah. But then, after the game, we go and visit Johnny Cash's house, which was at the Cinnamon Cinnamon Hill plantation.
Yeah, so Cinnamon Hill house, we get a walk through there, and the guys get excited because it's a tour like no other, because they're going to be the first crew to investigate the location, which is pretty rad. I still get excited when the guys get to say they were the first to ever do anything. So they get the opportunity to actually investigate John Cash's house. Johnny Cash's house.
Yeah, you're right. Like, they did it a lot of first this season too. Like, I mean, they got the battlefield and now like this. Like, they get a lot of firsts, which is pretty cool. But again, it's that Travel Channel money, baby.
Oh yeah,
it's that clout. One thing I wanted to mention was, like, right at the top of the Johnny Cash section, we spend a lot of time on that song about Annie Palmer.
Yeah.
And we listened to like pretty much half the song. And I wrote that was a red flag. I was like, bro. And then Leah was like, God, like, we really sitting here.
Yeah,
like, we're
man.
really doing this.
They played the whole album. Like, we were just really in it. And then even before that, that's when Zach's just kind of walking the streets, and he's like trying all the food and the drinks, and he has coconut water, and he eats jerk chicken, and all this shit happens. And I think Bethany made the comment, well, it is the Travel Channel, so I guess, here we are in fucking Jamaica. And we're sitting there like, yeah, Jamaica be cool to go to. Like, we're not even...
I know, right? I was like, I want to go there. Fucking ridiculous. Yeah, my note seriously was like, Zach talks to locals. Why? Corn, fish, sky juice, jerk chicken. It is the Travel Channel, I guess.
Yeah, that's literally everything he ate, and we got to see it happen. It was insane, but that was, again, a lot of skits, a lot of filler. So
There's a lot of fucking filler, man.
And that was really a majority of the pre-investigation. It was just all those fucking skits.
It was a lot of red flag. And I feel like the last final note that I have that I feel like is in line with, the other plantation. Apparently the new homeowner says that Johnny Cash believed that there were good spirits in his home. But again, no specific instances.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting these people saying, yeah, it's haunted, but they have no stories.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And here we go.
And here we go. Let's go. Honorable haunts and skimpy scares. That's the energy, folks. That's the energy of the fucking episode. It's flat, okay? It's just flat.
We need y'all to feel what we felt for the last 42 minutes.
Anyways, big sister,
Yeah.
you want to kick it off?
Yeah, man. So, of course, I'm going to start with my skimpies. And the guy started at the Johnny Cash home. So, the first skimpy that I got was really... So, it kind of kicks off and they spend some time in a certain location and they get no EVPs. And I feel like this is kind of a running theme throughout the Johnny Cash house, but there's no EVPs. They do a whole EVP session and get absolutely nothing. Waste of time.
Yeah, agreed. I had that too. No EVPs. And there was no EVPs like on the stairs. There was no EVPs in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was on mine too.
So the next skimpy that I had still in the Johnny Cash house was when Zach had feelings. Yeah. He just started feeling a type of way. And, while we're not saying that's invalid, it's just not good as a viewer. It's not honorable. So skimpy scare.
Yeah, and again, like we totally feel that. Like I get you, bro. But if you're not getting EVPs, you ain't getting shit. And at the end of the day, you're like, but I did have a feeling, and you didn't get nothing.
Facts.
Damn, that was brutal. Anyways, the next skimpy that I got was one in the Rose Hall. So again, this is a 2-part investigation. We've got Johnny Cash's house where we start, and then Rose Hall. So did you want to do them like by location, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. So in Rose Hall, they found a footstep in one of the rooms, and it's a bare woman's footprint, and it like there's no leading steps, there's no following steps. It's just like someone was standing there. And Zach was like, well, this could be paranormal. This is kind of strange. Looks into it. Boom. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The apparently the staff walk around barefoot sometimes after hours, and that's fine.
Yeah, Moses, the head housekeeper, was like, oh yeah, they sometimes go behind the rope and sometimes they are barefoot. But so Zach was like, womp womps.
Yep, womp womp.
What I have next are a few skimpy honorables. So do you have any other skimpies, or should I jump in?
Yes, I've got one more skimpy. And then Aaron, later in the episode, they send Aaron out by himself. Fantastic. Right? And he's walking around Annie Palmer's gravestone or gravesite, and we hear footsteps walking in the grass.
Yeah.
But the problem is we don't know if it's animals or not.
Right.
So it's like there was no way to even debunk it.
Yeah.
So they just kind of left it at that. And I'm like, man, why even show us that? Anyways.
It's true. I actually had that one as a skimpy honorable. And for me, it's just, that would just be creepy as fuck. Like being at someone's grave and then, you hear footsteps in the distance. So whether it was an animal or not, like I would have lost my shit the way Aaron lost his shit. I'm going to get me the fuck out of here. But yeah, to the point Bethany made, I was like, well, yeah, you're in the woods. It could be any type of animal, whatever the case is. And even Zach kind of said it on, like, as he's narrating that clip, he's like, but we don't know. It could have just been an animal. And it's like, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
more than likely it was just an animal. So, womp womp.
Do we have that horn sound still?
I'm sure that we do. Hell yeah, we do. So for me, like I said, I have a couple skimpy honorables.
Me too.
The next one that I have is at Rose Hall, and it is in Aaron's room. So the guys at this point in Rose Hall have separated, and they're all in different bedrooms to represent each of the husbands. So each guy takes a bedroom, husband 1, husband 2, husband 3. So we're in Aaron's room as husband number 3, and Aaron on his EVP recorder apparently gets like a woman's voice. They replay it back and there's something there, but again, it's not a grade A EVP. Can't really make out any words. It's just, it's a noise, but yeah, nothing solid for me. So skimpy.
Yeah, that was one of my skimpy honorables too. I have quite a few skimpy honorables. Like they're just mid.
Yeah.
So the Johnny Cash house, my skimpy honorable was kind of the mail meter popping off. So right when they get in there, the mail meter pops off, but I don't remember getting a number reading. And when I was looking at the mail meter when Zach was walking up the stairs, it was 0.0.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was making noise, but there were no numbers. And then they just go on to tell us that Gary Galkia made the mail meter. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. My next skimpy honorable happens back at Rose Hall. And the guys get an EVP, where they think they hear basically. So they're rerunning back, and I believe this is after. So Zach,
Here we go.
Zach decides.
Here we go. Prepare thyself. This is a very cringe episode.
It's so cringe. So as we mentioned, Annie Palmer liked to torture and SA her enslaved her slaved peoples. And so Zach thought it'd be a great idea to ask Wilson, the house security guard, who just so happens to be a heavyset black male, to join them in the house and see if Annie gets interested in Wilson's presence. So as they're conducting the investigation using Wilson as a trigger object, they're reviewing the EVPs back with Billy, and they hear and that's what they assume based on the questions that are being asked. So Zach's asking, are your stories true? And the guys say they hear again, it's not grade A, you hear something, but I can't sit here and say that it's saying it could be a number of things. So that one was skimpy to me. And the whole experiment was just cringe.
It was rough. So my note on that whole fucking experiment was they use Wilson. Why is this episode still allowed? Because it was just so awkward.
So awkward.
It was so uncomfortable, and it was just so wrong. It was not handled well. But yeah, so in this experiment, one of the first things they do is they have Wilson stand in a basically a triangle of REM pods. So they surround him with REM pods, and they start asking questions or whatever. And one REM pod beeps, and I basically missed it. Because they were all like, ooh, shit happened. And I was like, I missed it. What happened? But of course, they talk about it a million times. So one of the REM pods beeped, and they lost their shit. And it was just kind of flat.
I think that the last one I did really just kind of bleeds into my last skimpy honorable, because they also claim to get another EVP where they claim to hear, oh my goodness. And the guys get all hyped like, oh, that must be Annie, because she's, excited to see Wilson. And she's like, oh my goodness, look at Wilson. I don't hear, oh my goodness. I don't hear anything. It is such a faint EVP. I can't pick up anything on it at all. So skimpy as hell, but the guys are like super jacked about it. They're like, hell yeah, high five, bro. I heard nothing.
Yeah, bro. My note on that one was I can barely hear it over the REM pod, because the REM pod's popping off. It's a bang, and like they're trying to show you an EVP in the middle of that beeping, and it's just rough, dude. It's just fucking rough. And they were probably excited because it was the one damn thing they like got.
Yeah, true.
Not to ruin anything, but
that's it for my skimpy.
Yep,
honorable.
mine too. I've got very few honorables, but I got them. They're there. They're there.
My first honorable is at the Johnny Cash home, and we talk about the mail meter reading. And to Bethany's point, like, we don't really get a number or anything, but it happens immediately. So it is like, whoa, like we're kicking off. So it created a vibe like, oh, this is going to be popping. It wasn't, but it was still pretty cool.
Yeah. Mine is also at the Johnny Cash house for like my one of two real honorables. They capture an unexplained noise on EVP recorder. And that was cool. Again, it wasn't super clear, but it was kind of weird, and it's a noise, and I'll give it to them.
Yeah, for sure. Mine isn't really a haunt. I just kind of made a note, and I'm going to read it right now because I forgot to read it earlier. But the guys at the Johnny Cash home, they find a basement and Zach's like, oh, we didn't see this room earlier during our tour. So the guys go down into the basement and they find like an old jail cell almost. And so they start like, of course, wanting to investigate. But there's rats and roaches all over the place. And Zach just has a moment like freaking out about the roaches, and it was kind of tops. So have to call that out.
Oh, yeah. So my honorable for Rose Hall is Zach raving. It's not even a fucking haunt, my dude. It was so bad.
Yeah.
So like right before they enter Rose Hall, Zach is like, for some reason, like raving. He's like dancing and shit. And I don't really understand why he's doing it. Nobody knows why, but he's doing it. And it's cool. And it's really cringe.
It's super cringe.
It's really awful. But it made me laugh a lot. So it was honorable for the episode.
Oh my goodness. For me, the next one also at Rose Hall. Bethany mentioned the REM pod going off and it getting the one beep, and to her point, she wasn't really paying much attention because it was fairly active. Like Zach was asking, like, "Hey, if you're Annie Palmer, make it go off," and it would go off. And then it's like, if you're standing next to Wilson, make it go off, and it would go off. So there were at least 3, maybe 4 questions asked that the REM pod did respond to, giving it an intelligent kind of interaction. So that was pretty cool and honorable.
Weak. No, I'm kidding.
But still, yeah, that's like the only honorable at Rose Hall.
Yeah. My next honorable at Rose Hall, the simple fact that Aaron goes alone to Annie's tomb simply because he got one little shitty EVP.
Yeah. It's true. And really the last thing I got all together is the guys or Zach really decides like, hey, I want to go back to Johnny Cash's house. I feel like with the millimeter readings, there's more. There's got to be more. So he goes back with Billy and they run an EVP session and they come back and analyze it and they capture the EVP that says, I do. To the question asked, do you listen to Johnny Cash music or do you like Johnny Cash music? And the EVP says, I do. The thing that gets me about this is that the guys, oh my God, they stretch it the fuck out.
They really do.
So Zach replays it. And I knew instantly when I first heard the EVP that he was going to say it was Johnny Cash.
Yes.
Like, let me just get to the point. He thinks it's Johnny Cash. He goes, listen to that EVP again. So he plays it again. And then he goes, so we wanted to get it analyzed. So we took it to our audio analyst, Jay Wasley. Shout out Jay Wasley. And he analyzes it against Johnny Cash, like audio. And they conclude that it is the voice of Johnny Cash saying, I do. And I was like, oh man, that's just so fucking extreme. But the fact that you went through all those steps, I got to give it to you, man. Honorable haunt.
Yeah, that was my last honorable too. And it was really kind of like the only thing they actually fucking got. Like, I don't know. It wasn't a lot that they got. So
No. Let's roll, man.
Let's move it along.
Zach's fashion for us! It's Zach's fashion for us. And man, he was looking all right this episode.
Yeah.
Like, he's still rocking the rebel spirit. So Bethany clocked that instantly. She goes, another rebel spirit shirt. I'm like, got it.
It's like our 3rd in a row.
Oh yeah, man. He is rocking it. He's loving it. He's digging it. This one had like a huge silver design on the back, or like, and it was a skull with like silver fucking. It looks like just an Affliction shirt. It's just a different Affliction style.
Yeah.
But it was a button down.
Like
it was cool.
Affliction made love with Ed Hardy.
Yeah.
And they made Rebel Spirit.
You know who you wouldn't find in that?
Chuck Bass. Chuck Bass.
Oh my goodness. What else did I have? He's rocking the spiked hair. We still got the facial hair, and I'm here for it. I did call out that Zach called out when they're going into the Johnny Cash house for the investigation that he's in all black for the man in black. But he looked good. He had on a little backpack. He was looking fit. He was looking right. He was looking tight. And that was all I got for the fashions.
I really appreciated his belt. Because he had a black belt and the tip of it had it was like a cowboy belt where it had like the little silver tip, you know, and it was kind of like a little angle.
Yeah.
And I was like, he really paid attention to them details. You know, he really picked it.
Effort was clocked.
It was.
But that's it for the fashion. So let's roll.
Time for my favorite.
Zany Zaddy says,
What? Holy shit.
Damn. I mean, we've been listening to that for like 4 years, that damn song, and it never gets old to me.
Never.
I love that stupid little song. It's the best.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Yo, we got a lot of Zaddy says. And
It's a
typically
fabulous thing.
Yeah, man. Typically when there's a lot of skits and a lot of bullshit, he says a lot of stupid, crazy shit. So
Oh, yeah.
here we go.
Here we go. Big sis, do you want me to kick it or do you want to kick it off?
You that's a good one. You kick it off.
Okay. So in the beginning, we're talking about, the backgrounds, the background of the situation. And Zach says,
But sex would be the least of Annie's crimes. Those who shared her bed would meet their demise.
Yes. Snap, 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 snap. He crushed it. He crushed it. But as the guys are hanging out in Rose Hall, they're getting served up a cocktail, the White Witch cocktail. And the lady serving him up is like, are you ready? Annie's going to really like you. And Zach says,
Hold on. Let me get a buzz first.
and then he sips his little drink.
Something tells me Zach does not have to be drunk at all for him to have relations with the spirit.
Bro,
Like,
he's
just
so
about it.
Always. Always all about it. And I feel like we really got that hit of spectrophilia back at the Ram Inn.
Yeah.
Right? That was like
Yeah.
one of because the Incubus or whatever.
Yeah, he's boned up for it.
He's always. And then there was that Valentine's Day episode where he wrote the fucking poem for that chick.
Yeah, for Jerusha.
Oh, for Jerusha. And then last episode when he brought flowers for the prostitute.
Yeah.
And now we're here
Yeah.
with Annie.
Yeah.
And he is ready, bro.
Yeah,
he
he's really
is
leaning
ready.
into it, yeah.
He really loved Ghostbusters. And one of the things that he says about Annie is,
It's really weird. Annie was very bad, even evil, but I like her.
oh God, it's the,
But I like her because I'm Chuck Bass.
I'm sorry, you didn't say that.
Oh man, I feel
But
like
I think
you gotta do this.
No, I think Leah's gonna get the best quote of them all, and I will ask the follow-up question. So this is another skit.
God.
So Leah will be playing Zach, and I will be playing. What was her name? Do we know?
I can't remember her name.
She was the tour guide.
Yeah. So yeah, Zach's still talking about Annie. And he says,
So if we chitty chitty bang bang the night, I'll be gone in the morning anyway.
Are you good at chitty chitty bang bang?
I think so.
so bad, man. What? And of course,
Chitty
like,
chitty bang bang? What the fuck? Where did that come from, my dude?
I don't know, but I'm gonna start calling everything chitty chitty bang.
Pass me that chitty chitty bang bang.
What?
All right. We're still on Zach's horniness for this ghost, for this racist ass ghost, he says,
Annie, I'm a bachelor, and I'm looking for love in all the wrong places.
So fucking bad. No.
ooh, this one's
Oh, God.
racist.
Why do I get this one? Shit. I knew you should have went
You
first.
wrote it.
Well, it's just anytime the guys like take on or like try to speak Spanish or anything like that, it's always really cringe. And well, they're in Jamaica. So you get Nick yelling out at some point. I can't even tell you what the fuck was happening right now, but all
I
we
think they
heard
were
was-
playing soccer.
Oh, this might have been when they were playing soccer. Even worse.
Yeah,
He goes-
even worse.
He goes, I'm on.
I am on.
I'm on.
I am on.
Like, oh, shit. Shut up. Just shut up.
Just stop. You know, the best thing you can do in your life, just be you.
I was going to say, just shut up.
That too. That too. But you ain't gotta be nobody else.
Yeah, man.
I am on. So it's so funny because we go from Zach being super horny for ghosts to a bunch of racism. So here we go. Or like maybe not race. It's just weird. It's just weird. It's just not right. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, rewind. We're roaming the streets of Jamaica. We're getting all the fucking chicken and the coconut waters and all the things. And Zach is chugging coconut water. Okay, he's got like 2 coconuts in hand, and he's going for it. And the guy selling him the coconuts he's telling him like all the good things. You know, it's good for your liver, it's good for that. Yeah. And then he was like, it makes the sex right. And then Zach says, I need that for Annie Palmer. Yeah. Bro, what the fuck, dude? Zach is really on one in this one.
Yeah, no, he really
and
is.
his next comment will prove further how on one he was.
Well, man, so to Bethany's point, they're out in the streets. We told you guys they're out. He's having chicken. He's doing all the things. So this is when they're at the jerk chicken place. And I think he's with one of his like street guides or something. And he's like, hey, man, you want some of this? And the guy responds with, no, I've had jerky my whole life. So then Zach goes, I've been jerking all my life. And it's just kind of like, what? And then they have a good laugh about it. And the guy's like, no, haha, that's not what I said. You're going to have to edit it.
Yeah, no, the guy was like, don't mess this one up, man.
Yeah,
Please. You've
yeah.
already fucked everything up. Please don't take this from me. And Zach's like, but I am.
Watch me.
He's such a shit. But my favorite Zach is Poet Zach, as we all know. And in this episode, he said, right now darkness has hovered over Rose Hall.
The crowd goes wild.
And it was kind of interesting because, you know, there was like a storm rolling through and it was like pretty crazy sounding. It was pretty wild. It was kind of cool.
it was.
But anyways, the darkness was hovering, according to Zach.
And with this, the guys are they all make their way out to Annie's grave site, and they're hanging out at her tomb. They're kind of trying to get the energy going from the location as they go into the investigation. And Zach like leans over and he's like on the tomb practically, and he goes, kill, beat, torture. Is that what you did, Annie? And it's just like, yeah, that's exactly what the fuck I did, bro.
It's like, bro,
Get out of here, dude.
That's what they told you.
Get your hands off me. Yeah.
My Lord. Big sister, I think you need to do this one. Because this one was yours. This one was yours. You got to do it.
Oh man, this one was good. This one was good. So as I mentioned, they're at the tomb and this is all happening and Zach's kind of getting in his element. And he goes, his hands are on the tomb. He goes, something is going to come tonight, guys. I can feel it coming right through these hands.
Yes. But then he touches Annie's tomb.
So good.
A true poet. Later in the episode, they're in the basement, right? Like Leah was saying. And there's all these cockroaches and shit down there. And Zach fucking hates roaches. Like, he's like, I'm traumatized. I hate them. Let me know if there's one on me. Ah! He's freaking out. And he says, I would rather share a sleeping bag with a demon than be in a tight space with cockroaches. He's brutal. That's tough, Zach.
Yeah,
it's
man.
tough.
Yeah, man. A demon, really? Calm it down, bro. Let's take it down a notch, okay? Jesus.
You got to take it down a notch.
And the last zany zaddy we have is when the guys are separated in those individual bedrooms. Zach is hanging out as husband number 2, who was stabbed and had oil poured into his ear. So Zach takes it upon himself to say, pour this hot grease on me.
Just rub it on my body.
What, bro? Calm.
Just pour the hot grease.
Hot grease? I don't know if that's exactly the same, but I mean,
Bro,
either
he was
way.
ready.
Yeah,
He was ready. I think
Too much.
he brought some hot grease. And he had it, and he was like, pour it on me.
I'm ready.
Because I'm Chuck Bass.
Chuck Boss.
But bro, can you believe that's the history, that's the haunts, that's the fashions, that's the zaddies. It is time to rate this baby. What are we giving Rose Hall?
I'm giving this episode 1 claw.
Damn, bro. 1 claw.
1 claw.
Man, yeah, I guess like 1.5 chitty chitty bang bang.
1 claw and half a chitty chitty bang bang.
And that's it. That's all this episode gets, man. It was all
rough.
filler, man.
I mean, like, it was just rough on so many levels. Like, I can't even say that it was great because it was entertaining. Like, yeah, it was just an interesting ride. It was like, is this racist? Is this non-PC? What is? It's making me uncomfortable. That's all I know. And then the whole Zach being horny for ghosts on top of all of that. And then they didn't even catch anything. Yeah. And even the guys at the end even said, we can't really say if this place is haunted, but we can't say it's not haunted. We got some stuff. But. So it's like, even they knew it was kind of lacking. So
they just wanted to go to Jamaica and have a good time, and that's okay.
And I do feel like in this episode in particular was a really good example of our red flags, like actually like hitting like what we thought. Like we're like, this is a lot of filler. This is going to be a shit episode. Sometimes they do filler stuff and they actually get good shit, like the previous 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But even though they didn't get like a lot of stuff, they were still good episodes.
Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah, it makes me kind of nervous because this is the second to last episode of the season. Mm-hmm. We only have 1 more episode of Ghost Adventures to watch, and it's been kind of bang.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping for a bang out.
But that is also a part of our theory because remember, they always go down, right?
Yeah.
The peaks and the valleys, right? So
Yeah.
we're in a valley
We are in a
and
valley.
we're supposed to end at a peak.
Yes.
So we will see what the next episode holds for us.
But until then, baby, you know I need to cleanse.
Let's do it.
Omni rigere suminaro. Omni rigere suminaro.
Take a big deep breath in. Release that motherfucker out. That was not a good cleanse. Do it again. Take a big deep breath in. A smooth one. Yes. And let it out. Much better.
You're right. You were right to call that one back, man. I had to do it right. I had to do it right. And I feel it.
Feel it in my bones. Anyways, everybody, we'll see how this goes. Until next time, thanks for hanging out with us. We love you. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Chuck Bass.
And I'm Uncle Jack.
And we're signing off with two besitos
From these potitos.
That's not how Chuck Bass would have sang it.